The Philadelphia stop on Ringo Starr's fall tour was meant to be another joyful evening in a long line of celebrations honoring a lifetime of music. Fans arrived at the TD Pavilion buzzing with anticipation, many clutching memorabilia that connected their personal memories to the drummer who helped change popular music forever. At 85, Ringo had been touring with remarkable consistency, performing night after night with visible enthusiasm and warmth. That made the announcement all the more jarring when, just hours before showtime, the concert was canceled due to a sudden health concern. The news spread quickly, catching fans off guard and sparking immediate concern. This was not simply about a postponed event. It was about the well-being of a beloved figure whose presence had always felt reassuringly constant. In that moment, excitement gave way to reflection, reminding everyone that even legends must sometimes step back and listen to their bodies. The emotional weight of a last-minute decision. Canceling a performance is never an easy choice, especially when it comes so close to curtain time. Thousands of people had already traveled, planned, and emotionally invested in the night ahead. For Ringo Starr, the decision carried a unique emotional weight. His career has been built on connection, the shared energy between performer and audience. And disappointing fans is something he has always taken seriously. Yet health leaves no room for compromise, particularly at an advanced age. The announcement was brief, respectful, and focused solely on well-being. But the impact was profound. Fans processed the news in real time, balancing frustration with genuine concern. Many understood that pushing through illness could lead to far more serious consequences. The moment highlighted a quiet truth that often goes unspoken in entertainment. Behind the lights and applause is a human being making difficult, responsible choices that prioritize longevity over momentary applause. The tour that had been going so well. In the weeks leading up to the canceled show, everything had appeared smooth and upbeat. The tour had launched earlier in September to strong reviews and enthusiastic crowds, each performance reinforcing Ringo's enduring appeal. Night after night, fans sang along to songs that had shaped generations, while Ringo's all-star band delivered polished, energetic sets. Backstage, the mood had reportedly been positive, filled with camaraderie and humor. There were no signs of strain, no public indication that anything was wrong. That sense of normalcy made the sudden cancellation feel even more surprising. It served as a reminder that health issues don't always arrive with dramatic warning signs. Sometimes they surface quietly, building beneath the surface until rest becomes the only responsible option. The contrast between the tour's momentum and its sudden pause underscored how quickly circumstances can change, even during the most successful stretches. Subtle signs that something was off. According to those close to the situation, the first indications of trouble were understated. There was no dramatic collapse or visible emergency, just a noticeable shift in energy. Ringo appeared more fatigued than usual, his voice softer, his movements less fluid. At first glance, it could have been mistaken for ordinary tiredness, the kind any touring musician experiences. But as the day progressed, it became clear that this was different. The spark that normally defines his presence seemed muted, and rest didn't bring the usual recovery. These quiet signals are often the most important, especially later in life, when minor illnesses can escalate quickly. Recognizing those signs early was crucial. Rather than dismissing them or pushing forward out of habit, Ringo and his team took them seriously. That attentiveness likely prevented a more serious situation and reflected a deep respect for health over performance expectations, medical advice, and a responsible choice. When Ringo consulted his medical team, their advice was clear and firm. Continuing to perform posed unnecessary risk, and immediate rest was essential. At 85, even routine illnesses can place added strain on the body, especially in the demanding environment of touring. The recommendation wasn't framed as a suggestion, but as a necessity. For someone who has spent decades powering through schedules that would exhaust performers half his age, stopping required humility and trust. It also required accepting that responsibility sometimes means letting people down in the short term to protect everyone in the long term. The decision to cancel wasn't impulsive. It was measured and guided by professional care. By choosing health over momentum, Ringo demonstrated a level of self-awareness that comes only with experience, wisdom, and a genuine commitment to sustaining life and creativity beyond a single night on stage. Canceling more than one show. The decision ultimately extended beyond Philadelphia. The final show of the tour, scheduled for New York City at Radio City Music Hall, was also canceled. That announcement carried particular emotional significance, as Radio City is an iconic venue deeply tied to American music history. Ending the tour there would have been symbolic, but symbolism cannot outweigh safety. Canceling two major performances underscored the seriousness of the situation without sensationalizing it. Fans responded with a mix of disappointment and understanding, recognizing that the choice was not made lightly. The cancellations were framed not as endings, but as pauses, necessary breaks rather than conclusions. This framing mattered. It reassured audiences that Ringo was not stepping away permanently, only taking the time needed to recover properly. In doing so, the message shifted from loss to patience, reminding fans that longevity requires restraint as much as passion. Fans react with concern and compassion. As news spread, social media quickly filled with reactions from fans across generations. Some expressed frustration, especially those who had traveled long distances or waited years for the opportunity to see Ringo live. Those feelings were valid and understandable. Yet alongside disappointment came an overwhelming wave of compassion. Messages of support, gratitude, and concern far outnumbered complaints. Many fans emphasized that Ringo owed them nothing beyond what he had already given over decades of music. Others shared personal stories of how his work had shaped their lives, expressing hope for his recovery rather than anger over a canceled night. The collective response revealed something powerful about the relationship between artist and audience. This wasn't a transactional disappointment. It was a community moment grounded in empathy. Fans weren't just ticket holders. They were people who genuinely cared about the person behind the drum kit. Mindfulness, as a lifelong anchor meditation, has long played a role in Ringo's daily routine, tracing back to his time in India during the late 1960s. What began as curiosity evolved into a lifelong practice that provided grounding amid fame, pressure, and constant movement. Mindfulness offered him a way to slow down internally, even when the world around him demanded constant output. Over the years, this practice became less about spirituality and more about balance, staying present, managing stress, and listening to his body. That mindset likely influenced how he handled the recent health scare. Instead of reacting with panic or denial, he approached the situation calmly and thoughtfully. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate challenges, but it helps people respond to them with clarity. In Ringo's case, it reinforced the understanding that rest is not failure, but an essential part of sustaining creativity, energy, and emotional well-being over a lifetime. Planning ahead with care. Looking forward, Ringo's future plans reflect a more measured approach to touring. The upcoming spring 2025 schedule was designed with balance in mind, featuring residency-style performances and longer breaks between dates. This structure reduces physical strain while still allowing meaningful engagement with audiences. Rather than chasing an exhausting itinerary, the focus shifts toward sustainability and enjoyment. This evolution mirrors broader changes in how veteran artists approach live performance, prioritizing quality over quantity. For fans, it offers reassurance that shows are planned thoughtfully, minimizing the risk of last-minute cancellations. For Ringo, it creates space to perform with energy and presence rather than pressure. This careful planning isn't about slowing down creativity. It's about protecting it. By adapting his schedule, Ringo demonstrates that longevity in music requires flexibility, foresight, and respect for the realities of time and health. A new creative chapter with Look Up. Beyond touring, Ringo has been channeling his energy into new music. His upcoming album, Look Up, represents a return to creative exploration, blending his familiar style with fresh influences. Developed in collaboration with producer T-Bone Burnett, the project grew organically from a single idea into a full album. It marks his first full-length release in several years and revisits country music, a genre he hadn't explored so deeply in decades. The album isn't framed as a comeback, but as a continuation, another chapter in a lifelong relationship with songwriting and storytelling. Planned performances tied to the album were designed as special events rather than demanding tours, aligning creativity with comfort. Look Up stands as proof that inspiration doesn't fade with age, it evolves. Even amid health pauses, Ringo remains engaged, curious, and creatively active, reaffirming his enduring connection to music. Performing with purpose, not pressure. The special performances planned around the new album highlight a shift in philosophy. Rather than relentless touring, the focus is on meaningful moments, carefully chosen venues, limited dates, and intentional pacing. This approach allows Ringo to perform fully present, without the physical toll of constant travel. It reflects a broader understanding that performance is about connection, not endurance. By reducing pressure, the music gains space to breathe. Fans attending these shows aren't witnessing obligation. They're sharing in deliberate, thoughtful experiences. This model respects both the artist and the audience, ensuring that performances remain joyful rather than taxing. It also sets an example for other artists navigating later stages of their careers. Purposeful performance honors the music, the listener, and the human limits involved. In choosing this path, Ringo continues to lead not through spectacle, but through wisdom and intentional living. A legacy rooted in balance. Ringo Starr's legacy extends far beyond his role in one of the most influential bands in history. It is shaped by how he has lived, adapted, and grown over time. His commitment to balance between creativity and rest, ambition and care, defines his later years as much as his early successes. This balance is evident in how he handles setbacks, approaches new projects, and communicates with fans. Rather than clinging to past momentum, he allows his life to evolve naturally. That adaptability is a form of strength often overlooked. It demonstrates that legacy is not static. It is actively shaped by choices made in the present. By prioritizing health without abandoning passion, Ringo shows that a meaningful career doesn't require constant acceleration. Sometimes, slowing down is what allows the journey to continue with integrity and fulfillment, resilience that extends beyond the stage. Ringo's resilience is not limited to his performances. It is evident in how he has navigated personal challenges, public scrutiny, and the passage of time. Resilience, in this sense, is not about defying reality, but engaging with it honestly. By honoring his limits, he preserves the ability to keep moving forward, creatively and personally. This kind of resilience is quieter than applause, but far more enduring. It allows space for recovery, reflection, and renewal. Outside the spotlight, these qualities shape daily life just as much as public moments. Ringo's approach reinforces the idea that strength includes vulnerability and that adaptability is a form of wisdom. His journey offers reassurance that life's unexpected turns don't diminish purpose, they refine it. By embracing resilience beyond the stage, he continues to inspire through example rather than performance alone. Creativity that evolves with time. One of the most striking aspects of Ringo Starr's career is his refusal to let creativity stagnate. Even in later years, he continues to explore new sounds, collaborations, and ideas. This openness keeps his work fresh without abandoning its roots. Creativity for Ringo is not about chasing trends, but staying engaged with the process. Health pauses don't extinguish that drive. They often redirect it. When physical demands ease, creative focus can deepen. This evolution reflects a mature understanding of inspiration, one that values curiosity over urgency. By allowing creativity to adapt to changing circumstances, Ringo ensures that his work remains authentic. Fans witness an artist who grows rather than repeats himself. That growth, grounded in experience, lends his music a quiet confidence. It proves that artistic vitality is not tied to age, but to willingness to listen, adjust, and continue exploring. Looking ahead with steady optimism. As recovery continues, the outlook remains hopeful and grounded. There is no rush, no dramatic declarations, just a steady confidence that the music will continue when the time is right. This measured optimism reflects Ringo's lifelong outlook, positive without denial, hopeful without pressure. Fans waiting for his return are met with reassurance rather than hype. The future includes tours designed with care, creative projects rooted in joy, and performances that prioritize presence over spectacle. That vision aligns with the values Ringo has consistently embodied. Looking ahead isn't about reclaiming lost time. It's about honoring what remains. With patience and intention, the next chapters promise to be just as meaningful as those that came before. In embracing optimism tempered by realism, Ringo shows that looking forward doesn't require certainty, only trust in the rhythm that has carried him this far, a life measured in meaning. In the end, Ringo Starr's story is not defined by canceled shows or health pauses. It is defined by meaning, the meaning found in music, relationships, self-care, and adaptability. His life illustrates that legacy is not built solely on milestones, but on the choices made between them. Choosing rest when necessary is part of that legacy. It affirms that living well is as important as achieving greatly. For fans, this perspective offers comfort. It reframes temporary disappointment as part of a larger, more human narrative. Ringo's journey continues not because he ignores limitations, but because he respects them. That respect allows joy, creativity, and connection to endure. At 85, his rhythm remains steady, not hurried, not forced, but deeply intentional. And in that rhythm, the music of a life well lived continues to play.